The vast majority of those who worked on the new Capitol came from outside the state. And like Otto, most of them were immigrants or children of immigrants.
He was born here in St. Paul. His father came over here. My great-great-grandmother, she talks about the 4-week journey across the Atlantic.
The Mankeys fled their homeland of Pomerania, part of Prussia, that suffered frequent wars between Germany and Poland. The Rockhots family also left conflict in their country, Bohemia, now the Czech Republic.
When you consider how bad things must have been for them to haul up stakes and everything they owned and come to a completely foreign country in 1863, it must have been pretty terrible. He was 14 years old, and he came with his parents from a very small village in Bohemia. He was a really fine finishing carpenter. We knew that. We knew that he did all the fine finishing work in the James J. Hill mansion here in St. Paul. That was my mother's understanding. She always told us that he was the head carpenter at the state capitol building during its construction and afterwards as well.
Fleeing the wars on one continent, the Rockhots family encountered the American Civil War on another.
They entered in Philadelphia on a train. They sat in the Philadelphia station for 3 or 4 days in the first week of July in 1863. Their travels to this area were delayed because of the Battle of Gettysburg. And there we are in the governor's suite looking at these panels. And we know he worked on some of the finishing work in that governor's suite, and all over it is these massive paintings of the Battle of Gettysburg. And it's the full circle sort of experience here is almost beyond comprehension. I wonder if he ever knew that there were going to be paintings up there of the Battle of Gettysburg.
While many tradespeople had already come to St. Paul when work began on the Capitol, others were recruited to work on the construction.
The general contractor had been in the South and had observed the work that black artisans were able to do. And so he contacted Cassaville Bullard, who was a mason extraordinaire, and he made him a general foreman.
My grandfather, Cassaville Bullard, was a brick mason as well as a stone cutter, as well as a carpenter, which was kind of rare. He had 10 children in Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, and because of that skill and because of housing discrimination at that time, segregation, racism, and really couldn't find opportunities to work, or if he did find work, it was more in the poorer neighborhoods and maybe not the best opportunity to feed his large family. So through some different connections, people heard of his skill and they were asked him to come here. And so he came here in 1898 and started working on the Capitol.
The general contractor sent Cassaville out to find African American or black masons, and around 20 of them came up here, including my grandfather. And Cassaville Bullard said, whoever I bring on this job has to perform at a certain level. His house is still standing. That's the kind of quality that he demanded of the people who worked for him. I believe my grandfather had that quality, and they formed a friendship that, as far as I know, lasted throughout both of their lives.
Hoist operator Zebulon Olsen was one of many Swedes who left poverty at home in a great wave of migration to American cities.
Our grandmother was a historian, and this is one of her notes, and it says that we have a marble egg made by Grandpa Zebulon Olsen when he set all the stones in building the Minnesota State Capitol building. It's the same marble as in the structure.
This is the egg, and Grandma Olsen had this on the buffet. He took a chip from the construction process and put it in his pocket and made the egg later.
The egg is the thing that,
This
when
is-
you have a memento or
This is the
something
connection.
that has a story that goes with it, and someone keeps telling the story generation after generation, then
This is shared history. There is a connection to the state capitol, and it is strong, and it keeps us here.
yeah, the roots go deep.